Hello, everyone. Today we're gonna talk about whether phones should be allowed in school or whether they should not. So, up here I have um the ones proposing this motion. They actually think phones should be allowed in school, but I am gonna oppose that motion. Yeah. So, let's start by our friend here. First, I think you should introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Nana Kezaliza. Yeah, it's nice to have you.
Yeah, and Tony William from Senior 5. I'm grateful to have you here.
And I am David Noela Apple, and I'm also in S4. Thank you.
Yeah, so should phones be allowed in school? That will be the main topic for today. Yeah, so do you guys think phones should be or should not be allowed? Let's start by you, Nana.
I think they should. Because when we talk about they should be allowed, mostly people to think about the negative more than the positive. Um, in the positive, we'll have a lot of benefits if we use them well. Yeah.
Actually, your points are quite interesting. You say there are a lot of advantages to having phones in school. What are some of those advantages?
It will be easier for the students to be accessing the social media. It will be like you'll be having the news by time, like the current news. If like we're having only the computer room and we're having the computers only, not that everyone will like have time to go there because we have different classes. But if you're in class having your phone, you'll like get a notification, see 1 minute, and then continue studying. But still, again, you'll think about we won't be concentrating about the teacher. No, not that every time we'll be like seeing the notifications. You'll also be having limits, as the computer lab will have class per class, or maybe those who are in free times. That's how we also be having the phones. But the phones will be easier than the computer lab because they're accountable. But if everyone has his or her own cell phone, it will be easier. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, your points sound quite interesting, but I do not quite agree with them. I will touch on that later. Let's hear from our other colleague, Apple.
So, I'm proposing this motion, and I probably think if we're not allowed to have phones at school, then why are we allowed to access the computer labs? A computer is also like a phone. So a computer also has internet, as you can go on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever you like. So if you think you are keeping us away from phones, that's not possible because we also have computers. We can do whatever we want with the computers. But I think we should also have phones. The reason why is like I've been struggling recently. We had projects and I also wanted to like have research, and computer labs are not open. Like let's say are not open from 6 up to midnight, and in preps free times I have to do my project, my end project, and I was not able to research what I needed to research. So when we have phones, that will be easier for us to research whatever we like and in a great time. Thank you.
Mm. Yeah, actually, your points actually make sense, but I do not exactly agree with them either. Yeah, nor do I agree with your points. First of all, let's start by you, Mrs. Lisa and Nana. So you said when you have your phone, you can easily access social media and check your notifications. Yeah, I don't think that would be quite great in a school environment where people can easily be distracted. Like, for example, if you ever took a class in the computer lab, most people do not really focus because most of the times they're on those social media apps and they can't focus on studies because they're talking to other people. So I think that would be quite a distraction. Yeah. And also for your point, you said you can use phones for research purposes. Yeah, as you said, what you can do with a phone, you can actually do with a computer. So, if you have a computer, there is actually no need to start using a phone because you can go to the computer lab. And you mentioned the issue that the computers are usually not available and not enough. It's because you don't really know what times you should go to the computer lab. Maybe you go there at the times where the computer are usually busy and you don't find time to actually access them. I think you should tell the teacher in charge of those computers what your issue is and what you should research about, and I'm confident they'll actually give you those computers. Yeah, actually, I'd like to add a point. If we had phones in school, it would increase discrimination among students. Yeah, quite like if you didn't wear uniforms, it would also increase discrimination. Like if one student had the latest phone, like probably an iPhone 16 like that, and another student had like the cheaper models, I think that would cause some bullying and discrimination because of those differences among the students. Like it would reduce equality among students. Yeah, so those were my points. Do you have anything else to add on?
Yeah. As you say that it would add like discrimination, we really understand. But as I said, it should have limits. Not the way it should be used like the way they give out the rules and regulations about the computers. That's the same way they would make for the phones. But there should be both given out. Because if you say that if we have the the computers, why do we need the phones? The phones it will be like easier for us for the research than with those computers. And even you can't walk around with a computer in your hands, but you can walk around with a phone. And even if you say about bullying, um with different models, yeah, we all have different parents and different ways parents rule their homes. But if my parent can afford the iPhone 16 and yours can afford the itel, maybe like that's an example. It's an example. Like they can afford the itel. You should also have the rules. From those rules, they will be having the types of phones allowed in school. If it's about the iPhone, we shall all be having the same model of iPhone. If it's the itel, we shall all have the itel. Yeah. Not the way in they will give us the computers. It's the same way they can give us the phones. Man, the charging, yeah, like we can have more cables in school. We can the money about the money we can like as the parent could afford the money for the contribution of the phone. That's the way they're going to also give out the money for the electricity, for the cables, all that. If the school has given out the phones, let the parents, instead of buying the expensive phones, they would afford for the electricity and those cables. And if we have the cables, you might say that we shall have the shortage. If this class is going to charge, they will all be charging. Then after that session, the other class will be charging. I think that would be cool.
Okay, so touching on that, if you have noticed, the schools that have access to phones are almost always in high-income countries like the United States and Europe. And there's a reason why phones are allowed in those kind of schools. So basically, all the students have enough funds to buy phones for themselves. But us, in our situation, we're in Africa. Like, we don't have as much capacity to buy those devices as other people do. Like, for example, the ones who have sponsorships and don't really come from a lot of money, they can't really afford phones. Like, imagine how unfair it would be if one student had a phone and another student also didn't have a phone. Yeah, that would be kind of unfair. Like, a solution to that would be the school would provide the phones to the students, as you mentioned. But also, that would be quite expensive for the school administration. Like, there's actually no reason to spend more money on unnecessary devices while the money could be spent on other sectors like probably food. That's more important. And also cleaning. Yeah, there's a lot of areas where the money could be provided instead of those funds. Yeah, and as you said, they have the same purpose as computers. Yeah, so there wouldn't really be a need to bring in other devices when we have the same devices in school that can do the same thing. And also, you mentioned about portability. You said we can't really carry the computers from one place to another. I strongly disagree. Like, do you know what a laptop is? Yeah, I think we can really carry them from one place to another. Like, we have access to Chromebooks, we take them to the library, to other classes. Yeah, so I think all those issues aren't really that impactful. Yeah, how about you? What did you wanna add?
So at this point, I think I should go to the opposing side, but then I think I should also go to the proposition side. So I'm probably gonna speak for both sides. Right now, I have no side, to be honest. So for having phones at school, I would say computers are highly expensive in repairing. Let's say if a computer broke down in the computer lab, it would cost a lot of money to repair it. But as for a phone, there will be rules and regulation. If your phone breaks, that's your own responsibility. No one is going to do it for you. No, not the school is going to take care of the broken phone. No, if you want to bring a phone to school, that's up to you. If you don't want, that's also no problem. They're all computers and whatever. And also, to speak of not having phones at school, I would say it's also actually a great idea, because you find some have phones, others don't have phones, and those without phones are like, why don't I have a phone? And maybe it would cause a very big distraction or pressure to their parents, telling them, mommy, buy for me a phone. Everyone has a phone at school. Like, as you know, let's say if you go to a school where girls braid their hair, and you come when you don't braid your hair, and then you're like, oh, I should also braid my hair. So you go back to home and then tell them, mommy, I should also braid my hair. So I think it's the same case with phones. If you don't have a phone and you find the school that you're going in, they have phones, you go back at home and say, I also want a phone. They allow phones at school. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you.
From what I hear, you say that computers are usually quite more costly than the phones. I also disagree on that point because, yeah, when you count the single models, like one computer is more expensive than a single phone. Yeah, but with recent technologies, like the one we have in our own computer lab, like one computer can feed 30 different monitors. Yeah, so that would be like having 30 computers at the same time. And that really can't lead, like, that's a solution, because if one device breaks, it can easily be repaired compared to one phone. Like, if it breaks, you gotta buy another one. Like, if a student breaks a phone, it will be more costly for him to pay like the 100,000 for the phone instead of just paying like 10,000 to repair those different devices in the computer lab. Yeah, so I think that's a solution about the pricing of the phones. And I'd like to emphasize,
I said the computers will be highly expensive because the school provides the computers, but for as the phones, the students are the one to bring their phone. So I said if the phone break is up to him or her, not at the school. That's why it's not expensive for the school, but to him specifically it's expensive. But we're looking at generally. For the school, it's not expensive because they will not pay that phone because they bought it on their own will. Thank you.
actually, you said the students should bring their own phones. I think that's an even bigger problem, because it will lead to two different problems. Yeah, exactly. With the first one being theft. Like in the dorms, it's not really a secure place, especially for a phone. Like, imagine someone brought a phone, a highly expensive phone for like 700,000, even 1 million. Like, the latest models are pretty expensive. Like, imagine they brought that phone and it got lost in school. Yeah, that would lead to chaos. I think you mentioned, yeah, about that again. Like, if students bring their own phones, it will lead to the issue I was talking about, like the inequality, where some students who can't afford phones will feel like they're missing out compared to other students. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, what did you wanna say? What did you wanna add on?
Like you said, we will be having inequalities, but it will also not be like my problem. If my parent can like afford it and your parent can't, it shouldn't be for everyone. Let those that can afford have them, and those who don't, leave it. They will be having books. We have comic books. We have the library. Why not buy books? Even one more reason that is making us, we Africans, like, stay back. We don't want to read. If I can't, let's say my parents are poor and I can't afford that phone that is really expensive, and I have, for example, my iPhone 5 that is even not going to like afford all the apps that are nowadays. But it's also not, it will be according to the school. Not that every school is going to be having it. It will also be like to different schools. Like, if we say that Riviera will be affording the phones, not that Sunrise will be like having them. No, schools are different. The rules are different. But becoming addicted, where there are people from different societies. So if this one wanted the phone for good advantages, and I had bad manners, I'll also like spread it out through the social media also again. It also be not good, but we will all need. That's why they say some schools have phones and others don't. That's all. Like, if your parents can't afford, there are different levels of schools. So you should like know your, if you have a scholarship, it's fine, but there also should be of funds that to those ones that don't have the ability to have them. But we should also, it's also not necessary. And another time, let me also oppose, it's also not that very necessary, because not that everyone is going to read with the phones, not that everyone is going to use them with the advantages. Some of them have different mindsets, and like people have grown up from different societies, so we should both have them or not. So we are having both sides, and if we shouldn't also be thinking about the positive only, we also have the negative, and also don't be on the negative only. We should have them because we need them, not just because we want them. Yeah.
Mhm. How about you? What are your thoughts?
So I guess if we have phones and it's time for classes, we should submit them to the teacher and learn without the phones. And after the teacher finishes teaching us, we take back our phones to avoid distractions while the teacher is teaching. The other thing she said about it's different families that can afford different types of phones and whatever. I think those who have phones, they are, let's say, rich enough to buy them, and those who don't have or who are sponsored, maybe the ones to use the computer labs because they don't have phones. And there should also be rules that there should not be teasing, bullying to the students who don't have phones. We should all be equal, even though some have or some doesn't, or if some have different types of phones, either the ones which cost 1 million, those which cost thousands and whatever. There should not be judging and whatever. If they find you judging someone, then they'll take your phone away. Those are the rules. As for the shoes, if you bring white shoes at school, they take them away or you're not allowed to wear them. And you're allowed to wear black shoes and white socks. And we know we are from different families. One can buy a shoe which costs, let's say, 40,000. Another one buys a shoe which costs 15,000. And we both live in harmony. We don't judge anyone. So that's the same case with the phone. Thank you.
Yeah, I do hear you. But the fact that you both are leaning on the opposition side comes to show that it's not really a great idea to have the phones in school. Yeah. Also, let's touch on that point where you're saying phones will be confiscated when it's lesson time. Like, let's be realistic. Not all students are going to give out their phones when it's class time. Like, it takes a lot of time to manage those people. Like, by the time they'll be done giving out the phones, it will be like 15 minutes past. Yeah, so it's like a lot of time being cut from the lessons. Yeah, and also, we're at a school. We're here for studies. I don't really think we should be focusing on those social medias, as you were saying. There are times for that. And as you were also saying, like, what would really be the purpose of having a phone if you can do the same thing on a computer? Yeah, so I don't think all the effort that would be put in bringing out your phones at school would be worth it. And I also think that's why the schools haven't really allowed phones yet in our system. It's because we're not really ready for that change. And I don't really think we should start adopting phones by now. Maybe in like a few years when people will be used to the technology, but I don't think right now is the ideal time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. But like in 2030, we shall almost all our kids will almost be done with school. Our kids will be like having the phones and everything, because the technology will be like used like books. The books will be now. Yeah, I thought that the ones that are making us grow, that will be scrolled up.
So, from what you're saying, like in 2030, like in 6 years, that would be a great time for starting to implement those changes. Actually, that's really far. I think we'll be having kids by then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I say
um,
our kids.
So, do you agree that right now is not really an ideal time to start bringing phones here in our schools?
But right now, people are still having our parents are still having the old model of books. So, no way you're going to tell my dad, I really want a phone, it's the one we're going to use by studying. They'll also be thinking about the negative, more than the positive. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, from what you're saying, you're agreeing with my side. How about you?
Um, I'm not agreeing with your side. I guess to what she said in 2030, I guess we should start allowing fun so it will be more normal for the kids of our generations to come. Let them not take it as a new thing and let them not be thirsty for having fun in class. If we like start it right now, it will be, let's say, normal. It will be taking out the thirstiness of phones in class. It will reduce the distractions in the time to come. The kids will come and find it's a normal thing. When it's time for classes, they submit their phones. It's an easy thing. But if we study that time, it will take a lot of time for them to accept submitting the phones when it's time for class and whatever. So I guess the proposition side is the great idea. Phones should be allowed in class. So as a conclusion, let's conclude this and let's end this. Thank you.
Yeah, I do hear your points. Yeah, but you've not really brought out any points that come to show that it would be a great idea to have them at school. Yeah, because, yeah, as a conclusion, I think we already have everything we need out here at school. So it wouldn't really be great to bring your phones at school because we already have all the facilities we need out here. Yeah, what's your conclusion?
My conclusion is, as I agree with Apple, it will take out the thirstiness, while our generations will find it normal for everyone to have a phone. Not like our parents like feel it's abnormal because they've grown up with books, not by technology. That's why they feel like technology is bad. They don't think about the good. Yeah. So, but if we start now, our generations to come, it will be better. And they'll feel it normal, fine, and good to use. Yeah.
Okay, so we agreed to disagree. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Do you think we should have phones or not? Yeah, it's up to you to decide. But don't bring your phones at school. We're not really ready for that phase yet. Yeah, let's wrap this up. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Bring your phones to school. Bye.